Thank you for joining us for another edition of The Collective, right here on WSME Enlightenment Radio, where positivity is everything, baby. Today, we're going to have more R&B music for you. This time, it's coming from the artist St. Jaimz. He has been rocking the indie charts. For you who don't know lingo, that's the independent music charts, specifically the R&B independent music charts. And he's got a lot to say about the industry itself. And we're going to talk about a lot of his music because he's done some very interesting things to some classics, different arrangements, and even, a little bit of a softer touch with some things. So let's welcome to the collective St. Jaimz.
Hey, what's up, Shell? Thank you for having me. How you doing?
You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Chicago native.
That's right.
Birthplace.
Oh, okay, Southside.
Southside? Know how to say it. I've only been there twice, but I'm going back real soon. Yeah, but I know how to say it.
That's what's up.
So I see your musical influence in the back of you.
Okay, yes.
But I want to ask, as an independent artist, what drives you? Because it's not an easy game, as we were talking before we jumped on air.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different things that you need to do. So what makes you stay in it?
The music. Because when I turn on the records, it ain't because I'm singing on them, I wrote them, or co-produced or produced them, or whatever went into making these songs. Is that these records feel good to me? Like I don't listen to them like I sang on them. I listen to them like as if I didn't sing on them, how they make me feel. And I enjoy the records like anybody else will be listening to it. So I know that's how I know it feels good, because it's just, and I've test marketed these records, but what drives me mostly is the music. When I have a bad day, I just turn on the record. It reminds me to keep pressing on, because somebody hasn't heard this record that needs to hear it. Somebody that never heard of me before needs to meet me or get to know me. And I think that's my motivation, is genuinely out of for the love of the art and to support rhythm and blues. It's our, as a people, this is our bread and this is our legacy, our music, and deep rooted in our struggle from slavery through the civil rights movement, through all of the adversity we've been through as a people in terms of the racism and discrimination we experienced, man. So rhythm and blues, rhythm is the beat, blues is the story. So we have to have a beat, and we have to have a story to it. So if music isn't driving the beat isn't driving you, and the story isn't being told, then it ain't R&B to me. So that's what drives me, just to continue to push people towards rekindling their relationship with R&B, because the mainstream industry abandoned us, like like much of anything else that comes with being African American in this country. Let's be clear. Why would the music industry be any different when it comes to racism and this disparity in terms of class and socioeconomic situations like that? The music industry is no different than corporate America, education.
Politics. It is corporate America.
Absolutely, at its root.
It is corporate America.
Yes, ma'am.
You think about Michael Jackson's argument with Sony all those years ago.
That's right.
You think about Prince's argument.
Yep.
And even, up and coming artists always talk about their struggles, before they hit the so-called big time with record labels, and how they're treated as artists.
Mm-hmm.
The
thing about it is, I think our desire to be famous, to be validated and loved by the world, is what drives labels to take advantage of us. If we manage our expectations in terms of our because a lot of us come from impoverished situations of low self-esteem and bad situations. Not everybody, but a great deal of the people that make it in the music industry usually come from like some seriously messed up situations. So the record label, the entertainment lawyers and all that get to them, they're desperate. So they're not even willing, like as an example, how you can put a contract in front of me, and a lot of us can't even read at a high level.
Yeah.
First, second of all, without getting too political, I just want to be clear. This is how I flow with it. And then, if I'm desperate, I'm probably more likely to sign that contract out of desperation to get money and feed my family before I vet it. And if I can't afford an attorney, how am I gonna get an attorney to vet the contract?
Right.
It's just a lot
Right.
of layers.
Well, you even think in terms of Motown, right? With the simple fact that the Supremes got 3% of their sales, which was divided 3 ways.
Right.
So that's 1%. And they never questioned it because every place they went, their bills were paid.
Right.
They had shopping accounts.
Right.
Plane tickets were paid for, cars, houses. They even lived next door to each other.
Right.
And Mary Wilson, the late Mary Wilson, tells a story about how after being on the road with you 6 to 8 months, I don't want to see you when I'm dumping my trash. But Motown bought the houses and put them side by side.
Right.
And it wasn't only until she got ready to leave the Supremes that she found out, oh, you've only got 1%.
Crazy.
And so, like you said, the anxiousness of being a star and making that money and sharing your art or your talent.
Right. Becomes
sometimes
more than your business.
Yeah.
And that's the plight of our people. They, and I just, without getting, like I said, politically and too political, I am political in terms of just having an intelligence about it and research. But I just think that we got to stop being desperate for this situation. Like I'm not, and I think as the older I've gotten, and I'm 53, I say it proudly throughout my interviews. I don't lie about my age, trying to be younger than I am. I'm 53 years old, proud of it. Because ageism in this country is another big race kind of discrimination thing in America. People think you over after a certain age, you can't do what you can't. That's ridiculous. But point of the matter is that, at my age, I'm just not, I think I'm just more seasoned. I'm ready for whatever's coming my way right now. I wasn't ready at 20 and 30. That's probably why I didn't get it. And a lot of people that become stars are not ready for stardom and superstardom and money and fame and the responsibility and accountability that comes with millions of people following at your every word or listening to everything you say and do.
Yeah. And that's an adjustment within itself, right?
Especially coming from nothing.
Right. Let's talk about your music.
Okay, let's go.
Being Gentle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a song that you took from the 90s hit by Frederick called I'll Be Gentle. And because of digital media and, the godfathers who oversee what we do and how we play it, I can't play any of your music.
Really?
But yeah, that's a whole nother story. That's an offline story.
You get dinged even if I gave you permission?
Even if you gave me permission.
Wow.
We do get flagged.
Okay.
So it's a different ball game.
There's a whole different conversation for another interview.
Yes, that's a different ball game.
Yes, ma'am.
So, but Being Gentle was #1 last year on the indie charts.
Mm-hmm.
So why did you choose that song? And then what was it like to watch the climb of the song? Because from July to September, you went to #1.
Right, quick. And
quick.
Because I'm like,
and in a pandemic.
Right, and I'm number 2 for the second record, Baby Come to Me, Jaimz.
Yes.
I'll let you get to that, but yeah, I've been on that, but I've been on the charts for 4 months. I am right now at the #2 spot again. I dropped down to the 3rd spot. I thought it was going on its way down.
Yeah.
Next following week, back up to 3, and the Isley Brothers are right on my behind. So I got
wow.
And After 7 is right after that. So I'm right there. Exactly. So Being Gentle, back in the day, like again, I was born in late '60s, so we did house parties.
Yes.
And so slow dancing was still a thing. You see a young lady, she see you got your eyes on her all night, and you like, then the DJ finally slows it down. You get the courage up to walk over to her and say, "Would you like to dance?" And she goes, "Yes." So that song was always that record. So DJs love to play that gentle song or Calling Your Name, I'll Be Gentle, Calling Your Name. And man, I remember loving that record since I was young. And so as I started getting into the music business and started making records, I said I wanted to cut that record one time again. And the original composer and author, Jaimz, is a friend of my brother's, who Jerry is now a great friend of mine now. And
Wow.
he gave me carte blanche on my derivative. He said, just take the record, reimagine it how you feel, and let me hear it when you're done. Because he heard some other stuff. He said, I trust your production abilities, and I think you're going to really nail it. Man, I sent him a copy of that record. He lost it. He said, listen, I would be remiss to not do something for you, man. I just can't have you just.
Wow.
So he gave me 50% publishing rights to my.
Congratulations. Because that's rare.
That's huge. 50% rights to my version of a song that ain't even mine to begin with. I just took the element, rewrote a couple of verses, but kept the bass of the song and the hook chorus. And man, and the record just it's still phenomenal. The problem I'm having with the record is it should be Billboard. And Billboard ain't touching me because I won't pay the bread that it costs to go mainstream.
Okay, talk a little bit about that, because we were in that conversation before we came on. Okay. So what is it that they want from you or expect you to do?
Well, the way it works is, I'm a transparent guy, and see, a lot of times the crabs in the barrel syndrome is very real for our people in this industry. Like, we will not give the information to help somebody just because we can help. It's always some angle, financial gain. I understand, because we all scrapping by, taking crumbs, trying to it's unfortunate, but mainstream radio is a beast, and those programmers, those directors, man, from all them, I don't even know names, of course, but the big stations, man, they want a lot of money. You got people that are actually promoters of this type of stuff, and you got to go to this person, like gatekeepers to get you to where you want to be. So if I talk to you, let's say you were like a radio programmer or something, I will come to you and ask you, you the woman, and you know how to get things done and get this song to all this, all the G's, everything. So I come to you, your fee could be $25,000 to take my record to big time radio station. I don't want to say names but they know who they are.
Right.
Take my record there, and of course, out of that 25 grand, I'm guessing you probably gonna keep at least 20.
Right.
You might give me 20. You might keep 20, take 5, and give you whoever you need to get to pop it on the hand. And see, if you talk about the word payola, you can't say payola like that to radio people. They get real touchy and defensive and whatever. But how can you call it anything else but that if you're asking me for money to play my record instead of letting the record open up its own doors, because the people are demanding that you play this record on these stations. Right. So that's the concept of it. And if you find yourself for $25,000, says I could do a whole lot on the independent label and independent. I can help a lot of people, including myself, by taking that same 25 grand, because ain't no guarantee that your record gonna do anything on the main anyway. So I'm gonna give away $25,000 on a hope or a possibility. I'm not going to Vegas. I don't even gamble when I go to Vegas. So no thanks.
So being gentle, you did a duet.
Yes.
Her name is Sine.
Yes.
How did you all come together?
Sine, I reside in California, Sacramento to be exact, and so I did a song when Stephon Clark, the young man out here that was gunned down. I did a record I took 27 artists, local Sacramento, just regular cats. They dope singers. They do their thing around town, and I pulled them in together in my studio, and we put together this record called "It's Gonna Get Better." And sis, when I tell you, it's a beautiful record. I couldn't get them to come together to do anything more past it, but they donated their talent, signed a little NDA, and signed a little release form and everything. And Sine was really one of the most prominent voices on the track and I didn't really know her at the time. I was just producing it in the booth. I mean, they were in the booth and I was with my engineer. We was working on the record with other people, and Sine just stood out to me. I heard it and I was like, wow, she's dope. So later on down the line, I had another young lady cut the demo vocals to the song just to see what it sounded like with a female on it, just till I found the right voice. She was okay, but she ain't no Sine. So then I called Sine up, and Sine just so happened to be about to move back to Chicago about a week or two after I really?
I
was like, listen, what is it going to take for you to get in the studio, cut this record with me? ASAP. So she told me what her price was. We took care of our paperwork and our business, and she came in there in 4 hours and laid that record out. Most people can't knock out a session in 4 hours of a song that big. So great, she did her thing, and she was emotional about the record. She was emotional about the opportunity, and I paid her what she asked me for. She was worth every penny. And a lot of artists don't get their just due, man. They don't.
Yeah.
So that was really good to be a kind of person that was able to bless people for what they're worth, their value, and that's what she charged. I paid her what she was worth, and we've been cool ever since. She did another record with me right after that for my EP, and that's my little sis now. And so whenever I need something, I can call her. Whenever she need me, she can call me. But she's a multi-talented actress, singer, songwriter, and model.
Well, you two together on this song are magic.
Oh, thank you.
Let me just say that. It is really a good rendition.
Thank you so much.
And speaking of that, earlier you said you kept different elements of the original song, but then you added your own.
Yes.
So in listening to it, how would you describe it to someone who was listening but familiar? What changes did you make? Not that you want us to specifically look for those changes,
right.
But what is the St. Jaimz touch?
The St. I like that. And by the way, you have a great smile. Like seriously.
Thank you.
Amazing. Okay. Great dentist, whoever he or she is.
Alan Friedler, y'all, in Branford, Connecticut. Okay, it's my man.
Hey, good job. Take care of those teeth. All right.
And they are mine. Thank you.
I'm just saying, because I got all 32 of mine too. You know what I mean? But the St. Jaimz touch is feeling the music. I love Quincy Jones, by the way. He's just an inspiration to me, his overall vibe. I aspire to be like a Quincy Jones
okay.
My career in this business. But I just try to feel the record, and I know that the way they sang it back then would not bode well today's vibe. You know what I'm saying? A lot of bravado, the holding the notes out, sustaining notes too long. People just ears aren't programmed to hearing that. And they would definitely call it old school. And I have no problem with old school music, but I don't like music being called old. Just like I don't like calling people that are up in age seniors old.
Yeah.
They paved the way. They paid their dues. They sacrificed so much for us to have the rights that we have today. People, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my father, grandfather, all that. To me, that stuff is ridiculous. So I don't like when people call music old. I think you can call it throwback or,
right,
vintage or something like that. But when you start calling things old, man, that means you don't value it anymore. So, so I don't like that verbiage. So, I just, focus on trying to make sure, that I give it a freshness and pay homage to versus trying to outdo or go totally left field from the record. And so I got a team of guys that work with me, and we all vet the record. We're Motown. I took a page out of Berry Gordy's vibe. I mean, we vet the record. If you're down to your last dollar, you're gonna buy the sandwich, or you're gonna buy the record.
Yeah.
That we use that format, man, and it has worked for us, and we got so many records coming because of it. And I think we got a really good polished, edge on what we're doing.
And 2 million streams on Being Gentle?
No, 1.3 million streams as a single, but the EP that's on is over 2.4 million almost.
Wow.
We are, and it's not stopping, and it's just crazy. We got nominations, we winning awards, we're getting a lot. I've probably done every Chitlin Circuit podcast you can imagine. I don't turn down no.
Gee, thanks.
No. I'm talking about prior to the show. Let me clarify. What I'm simply saying is, I don't turn down no promo. I don't care if it's a small podcast. Everybody's building a brand, trying to what they're building.
Yeah.
And so, because I'm independent, so I don't turn down no promo, because that's a chance for somebody that never heard of me to get to know me, and that's important. So, but including
in different parts of the country, it's not so much staying true to Chicago or the West Coast or even, Southwest. You kind of venturing all over the place. I'm gonna let you get out of that. Gave you a way to get out of it.
Wait let me skate by, baby.
Gave you a little escape hatch there.
Hey, that's called being a gracious host. Gracious
Yeah,
host.
I give it to myself. I'm gracious.
Yeah, pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back.
So your sound is very smooth.
Thank you.
And your sound is very traditional R&B, if you will.
Right. Yes.
How do you think we can get traditional R&B back to where it should be, i.e., in the forefront of Black music? I mean, you have jazz and you have R&B,
right,
and you have gospel,
right.
you know, and you can't necessarily say that one is better than the other because they're all intertwined in their own way, right?
Exactly.
So in thinking about R&B now, for instance, K-pop, they have the rhythm and they have the layering of an R&B song.
Right.
But it ain't R&B.
Right.
And as somebody who grew up with, my mother is a huge music lover. And so, of course, us being close to New York, when I was growing up, we got all the radio stations out of New York.
Right.
And my mother was a big Eddie OJ fan, who the OJs are named after.
Nice.
And so Eddie OJ had a top 10 countdown, right? And we would run to the record store every Friday, you know, because my uncle's barbershop was on the same corner as this guy's record shop. Right. So we'd run down there every Friday, get Eddie OJ's top 10 and dance till we fell asleep on Friday night. Of course, Saturday morning, you still had to be up to do the chores. But, you know, you got your little bit of relief on Friday night.
That's right.
And so I grew up with all that music, everything from Arthur Conley, Sam and Dave, you know, somebody called the Six Soul Brothers, who sound like the Womacs. Wow. You know, and country western music, but definitely the R&B, right? So when I hear R&B, I got an ear for it. Right. Because I've grown up around it. And I know what it should sound like. So given all of that, you know, the little mini history, my question to you is, how do we bring that back? Do we need more St. James? Do we need to go out into the streets and just, you know, tell the kids this is what it's supposed to sound like? How do we bring this back to people?
It's going to be a tough uphill journey because we're influenced by mass media. So if the mass media and the mainstream industry doesn't get behind it to push it, you know, they shove things down your proverbial throats in of sorts, like where they, you know, like look at the social media platform. People are addicted to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All these platforms are just, if you don't have your phone, you're like, oh my God, my phone, where's my phone? Where's my phone? It's like you find yourself kind of having to, you know, so R&B, if the mainstream industry isn't supporting it, labels aren't signing R&B acts. They're not giving big budgets to artists anymore. They're not doing all that. So what does that force you to do? To figure out what does get you generate the income. So what have to happen is R&B artists are going to have to go back to unapologetic R&B, where they do R&B unapologetically, not concerned with what everybody else is doing, what's the trend, what's hot in style, what's going on right now, but stay focused and true to the traditional foundation of R&B. The problem is, you got to think back 15 years ago to save the music program. Right. They took music and music programs out the school for over 15 or more years, and that generation of kids had no idea about music theory. None of it. They don't know. All they know is they can process music, make a loop, put some words on it, talk about whatever crap they want to make up, and some of them making millions of dollars off of it. So why would they care about theory, music foundation, classic music, any of that training, none of that? So I kind of like it's like I said, it's layers to the answer to that question. But specifically, I think R&B artists that do rhythm and blues music or call themselves R&B artists have to get back to doing rhythm and blues as a collective. And see, you know that the reality is that us coming together as a people has always been an uphill battle because we've been kind of preconditioned to be divided as a people, subconsciously, race from our own, from like our self-loathing, self-hate, as well as looking at my brother in front of me and rolling my eyes at him before I even know what kind of person he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just all that's connected to why we're where we are in this business. But specifically, if R&B artists don't stand up for it, I'm just gonna I'm out here to lone ranger right now. Feels like it. I know there's other guys out there trying to bring it back, but a lot of people cave under the pressure because the sound isn't current like other people. I love what I'm doing. People are going in on these records, and I'm just getting started with the catalog that I'm putting out. So stay
Hold
tuned.
that thought. Hold that thought, because we got a break.
Okay.
And we're going to come back and finish that thought. All right?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
St. Jaimz is here on The Collective on WSME Enlightenment Radio. Be right back. Back on The Collective with St. Jaimz, who is the #1 holder. Well, let me put it the other way. His music is holding the #1 spot on the indie R&B charts. And we welcome him back. And we were talking about how can we bring R&B music back to the people. And his thing is that gotta hold it down. Just plain and simple. The artists that are out here that are independent, that are really doing the music, just need to keep it on, as they say.
Got to keep going, and we have to collaborate more. Like, see, the problem is, like, I work with anybody that's serious about the music and want to make hits. So I have no problem working whatever, and I can stand back and let you do your thing, or I can step up and to the plate and do my thing, and we collectively make, see, if we come together collectively and collaborate more, it's more opportunities for it to become something that people gravitate to. They see, well, like rappers that get together and have like 4 or 5 people on one song and then wonder why. That's why hip hop,
right?
Well, because these cats, and you would think that they would have the hardest time connecting, because that's a narcissistic genre if I've ever seen it. I'm the baddest rapper that could ever be. You know what I mean? But those cats come together and do features and make money. They make money off of it. If R&B artists got together and did songs and collabed and made records together, it could be a beautiful thing. I'm trying to usher that in. Gandhi changed the world, so it's not like it's impossible. You know what I mean? So I'm focused on being that R&B guy. I do good business. I tell the truth. I'm committed to integrity and transparency in my life and in my career, what I'm doing. And as a human being, no one's perfect, but you can be mature. Perfection doesn't always mean mistake or error free. It means that you're mature, and so when you're mature, that's perfection. When you're aged and you understand how to deal with people and talk to people, and if you handle your business on the front end of things, you don't have to worry about the drama on the back end. That's how I'll do it, and it's been working for me. I've done some things for people that I probably should have been more diligent in my business, and I've learned those lessons. Life, as we know, is always consistently a learning lesson.
Right.
So I take it with the good, with the bad, and keep it moving. But most important thing to me is integrity, my dignity, and doing what I say I'm going to do. Those things used to mean something back in the day. They mean something to me. I always have.
Yeah. So looking forward, I'm thinking about the EP, and you got some great stuff on there. Absent Without Love. Sounds like a story.
Yes.
Now, is that your story? Is that something from your life?
Yes,
or was that one of those things that was a collaboration with someone else?
A collaboration with someone else, but ultimately, when I got the original record, I got from someone. I heard the record, it was cool, but it just needed some things, and so I changed a lot of things. It kept a little bit of the hook, but most of that's my stuff and the collaborative. But it's experience. I'm 16-year military veteran, so
Okay.
AWOL is absent without leave. You know, when you don't show back up to this.
You're right. After a break. Yeah.
Right. so but you can also be absent in a relationship without love. And so I wanted to convey the message in the song that, and also a lot of us stay past the expiration date in our relationships. We know it ain't working out. We know that you're past resentful and bitter and tired and exhausted from it, but something keeps you staying there when you're past the expiration date. So I wanted to kind of let people know it is okay to just eventually recognize it's time to move on with your life. And the older we get, and with the pandemic, it's really important to enjoy what's left of your life, because you don't know what's going on with it and what's going to happen, vaccinated or not, whatever. Everybody's got their opinion, but we observe, at least statistically speaking, over 500,000 people pass away from this stuff. So that's a lot of people, man.
And in a year's time.
Yes, that's a
Think
lot.
about how quick that is.
Yes,
in a year's time. That's no joke.
That's no joke. And so, so I want to just, encourage people through my music to tell stories again. I write life songs. It's okay to
talk about that statement, because that grabbed me in your bio.
Okay.
That they're just not love songs. They're life songs.
Right.
How'd you arrive at that?
Understanding that, when you're young, love is, she's cute, I miss her, I want to see her, I'm attracted to her. When you get older, love is, she is getting older, she still looks good to me, but what's most important to me is her dignity, her integrity, her responsibility. She's a great mom. The things become more important to you. Love becomes more than just some infatuation, some
right.
Kids, and you just understand it. And so, and then you start realizing that, as you, especially doing music, that your music, your art reflecting life becomes kind of like very closely knit. Because I can't make records about just, that's why I can't write records about stuff that I don't go through or experience or know nothing about. It just doesn't make sense to me. So life songs are very important to me. I just want to tell a story, and I think whatever I can do to help people through a bad time with my music. Because I remember Mary J. Blige, Luther Vandross, and
right.
Those records help me make it through some really tough times.
And how do you arrive at what is a song and what is not, or what works for you as a singer?
First of all, the key of the song. It's very important to stay in your lane vocally. If you,
believe it or not, you're not the only singer that has said that to me. Yeah.
Stay in your lane with your vocal style. That doesn't mean don't try to push yourself and be better and get better. But like I said, I'm 53, not 23. So my first tenor is no longer as I should get. My first tenor was Eddie Kendricks. I mean, straight like Bruno Mars' first tenor is now. And maybe when he gets 53, he ain't gonna be.
His first tenor won't be the same first tenor, right?
My first tenor at 23 was killer. So I miss being able to hit that kind of stuff. But as I got older, I'm still can do what I do, and I'm still doing my thing. I sound younger than I am, but man.
Because if you're really someone who follows music, then you'll notice how people's voices do change as they get older.
Right.
And I had a local performer on, and he was like, he had taken a classic song, and when he performs in front of people and he does a song, it's requested.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, when somebody first came at him with the request, he was like, I don't know, not necessarily in my lane. I have to go back and think about it. So he went back into the studio and, discovered a key that he could sing it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did it, and he got, he always gets it as a request. But I think that's the thing the listener also has to take into consideration, that we all get older, voices change,
spoiled.
Looks change.
Or spoiled, as people are so spoiled by artistry and music. And they do not understand what goes into making these records and how much time. We ain't even talking about the money, just the time,
right?
Blood, sweat, and tears, man. And so Anyway, that's man. We got to start. We're such a critical society now. I mean, because
Mm,
we spend our whole time looking at a phone, looking for stuff wrong at things. Now it's just like what we do. We pick this up right here, and we just stare at it, and we look for things to be wrong with something.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
But another story, but it's
But
like,
you know, St. James, I think we're kind of turning a corner with that
I hope so.
because of the pandemic.
Yes.
You know, I think we're giving each other a little more grace.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that's going to last, in
Yeah.
all honesty, but you know, every now and then you see kind of rays of it, you know, and people doing good things and
Right.
people still saying, you know, let's talk about the good things.
Right. I'm
You
with you.
know, let's talk about what that person or what this organization or what these folks over here are doing right,
Right. Absolutely. I'm with
as
you.
opposed to what they're doing wrong.
Right.
Because, you know, so many times folks can't wait for something to go wrong, right?
You're right.
They sitting, you know, I'm waiting, as opposed to really truly considering and thinking about the work that goes into something like that,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Um,
You're right
and
about
it's like you said, it's true with artists. You put all that time, that energy, you know, you might even pop out of bed at the middle of the night and grab your phone and, you know, sing into the phone,
voice record.
record it, voice
Mm-hmm.
record, you
Yes,
know,
man.
just so that you capture that moment and can bring it back into the studio.
Right.
So it's very different. And people just say, okay, that stinks. Instead of saying, well, you know,
Not
so
my
and so's giving it this take, you know, and looking at it this way. You know, it just we're I think we're in an age now where, at least in this moment, we're giving a little bit more grace to people.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. You're absolutely right in terms of this pandemic. Uh, but you know, we are in a country that's just has a short term memory.
That's true too.
So, and
That's true too.
as I talk about it, optimism is very important to me, but also realism. I kind of try to find it's a very balancing, a delicate balancing act between the two. Again,
Yeah.
and then as a black man in this country, I always say this: we walk a real fine line because if we're too articulate, intelligent, and knowledgeable, we're arrogant. If we're too
Yeah.
dismissive, passive, and soft spoken or whatever, we're considered weak. So you got to find a happy balance of it because you got to wade through it, and it's incredible. So I try to keep that in mind when I deal with certain things and based upon people because you know you're a threat to them anyway. So and I like to talk about that because I'm proud of being a black man. Absolutely. Every day.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it. Wouldn't want to be nothing else.
So, arranger. Who's your favorite arranger? And you already said Quincy Jones,
Okay.
but there's gotta be one more, one or two other ones.
It's crazy.
Or is just Quincy is just it for you?
Quincy, no one's making records like Quincy did now. I'm trying to like just emulate a vibe of bringing like all the elements together. I mean, Quincy just made just great records, man. It's incredible. Him and Rod Temperance. There's a lot of.
Yeah.
Babyface will still have to be my second go-to.
Uh,
Kenny Edmonds, man, just phenomenal. One of the best songwriters of our time, arranger type guys. It's not a lot of them standing out to me right
no
now.
Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis?
Oh, of course. Oh, how can I forget Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis? I just think when you think of tandems, I'll call them out. Okay,
Yeah.
if it's tandem, then I'll be like, okay, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Babyface, L.A. Reid when they were together. But Babyface kind of pulled away and did his own
Yeah,
thing.
he did. He did his own thing.
Right. And
He
then
really did.
Stills and Nash, you know, David Foster, Diane Warren, Carole King. I mean, you know, of course, Barry
A
Gordy.
lot of respect. Yeah. Barry White, Carole King. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the amazing thing about Carole King is that she is a songwriter.
Right.
You know, and so, and Alicia Keys.
Oh.
Alicia Keys is a songwriter, but she always has a very interesting arrangement to me because she looks like she's always not necessarily layering it, but thinking about a different. You can hear it. As she's playing it, she's thinking about, okay, I'm putting it this way now, but in another 10 minutes when I get off this stage, I got something else to do with it.
Alicia Keys, and if you ask me who I would want to work with, her and Mary J. Blige would be the top two female artists I would love to do a collab with, a duet or some type of with. But the thing about Alicia I loved about her is that her whole career, she was they were trying to push her towards hip hop. She was like, nope, I'm gonna sit at this piano and I'm gonna sing this R&B pop.
Yeah, and the interesting thing too is that at one point she got tired of playing the piano.
Right.
And her mother said, don't give up the piano. I don't care whatever else you do.
Don't give up the piano.
Don't give up the piano. And she listened to her, and that was as a teenager.
Right, man.
Yeah. And as much as people give Beyonce a hard time,
right.
Once you watch Homecoming, I think you'll have a different respect for her as an arranger.
Yo, Beyonce's a bad producer. Don't get it twisted. Beyonce can actually make beats. She's dope. It's just, when you get to that level of fame, you are no longer pulled by your own coat. You don't pull your own lever, so to speak. You do overall, but them record labels are monstrous, man. Once they get their claws in you, they control so much.
Well, she dropped her own stuff. I don't think, when you start to talk about something like Lemonade, I don't think she could have gone to a record company and said, hey, this is what I've been going through the last 2 years. I decided to put it on paper. And they would have said, women don't want to hear that.
Yes,
women want happy stuff. And you're Beyonce. You're supposed to be singing about love, And she's like, no, this is the other side of it.
Yeah, what I've been through.
And a lot of people have gone through it and they can relate to it.
Right. Man, that Lemonade and 444 album her and Jay-Z put out, I have my opinions about it, but ultimately, I don't know. That's no another.
Well, you know what? And it's interesting to me because Alicia Keys and Beyonce both, when they first, I like to dance to Beyonce, but I didn't respect her as an artist because I didn't think she was a singer. I didn't think she was a songwriter. She was this canned person, right?
Right.
But then she started to, as they say, go left, like kind of leave the industry behind, and kind of looked at Michael Jackson and Prince and said, okay, I think I can do this differently.
Right.
And went ahead and did that.
That's what's up. Yep.
I'm not a Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah, Taylor Swift is a beast, though.
But she's a beast.
I'm not a Taylor Swift fan either, but I admire that her business acumen is incredible.
Right. Because it is a business. And right. I know we keep going back to that. We're supposed to be talking about the music. But I think one walks, as we know, one walks with the other one. They're hand in hand. And it's one thing to do the show. It's another thing to know the business.
Absolutely. And there is where you find me in the middle. I literally a year ago was sitting on the couch. I've been in the studio for a few years putting all this music together and just kind of like trying to figure it out. And after I dropped the Being Gentle record, everything just picked up for me, and I haven't stopped outside of maybe.
That's great.
Oh, I'm blessed, man. I can't complain. I think I got so much new music coming, and I got a platform I'm building. I'm gradually building it, so I got a long way to go. I haven't arrived to anything that in my mind like that, but what does it for me is the people that hit me in my inbox and thank you for the music. Oh, I love this song. It makes me cry. This song, that song. Slow dance at my wedding to this song. Thank you so much. And those are important things. Nothing else matters to me. At 53, I'm not enamored with people liking me for me. I prefer them to stay the heck out of my business personally and just make it about me. So it works out perfectly.
It works out well.
I got no time for you to be telling me what to do at 53. It ain't happening. But if you love the music, then just focus on St. Jaimz, the artist. Don't get in St. Jaimz, the person business, because I don't play that. And I will not let this music business, infiltrate my happiness and my stability. So when I feel like I'm no longer happiness and having fun doing it, because I'm basically in pre-retirement now. So this is all retirement activities to me.
Okay.
I'm chill. I'm not in a rush to sign no record deals. I ain't looking for no stardom. I'm not looking for no drama. I'm very in a really good mental place. I recognize at my age, if it starts becoming work and I'm unhappy, I need to stop because I'm not trying to do that. So it's all good. It's working out great. I'm looking to try to work with other artists out there. I really think I could take a lot of throwback artists that need a hit record and put them back on the map with one song.
So who would you like to work with?
Everybody.
Well, choose two. I'll give you two.
Give me two.
I'll give you two.
Okay, right now I really want to do a record with John B. It's just something.
Oh yeah.
I think John B. I heard him in who else? One more person. Let me see. If I had the chance to work with anyone right now, Drew Hill. I just want to do a record with Drew Hill. Just one. I got some songs for them.
Let me tell you something about that boy's voice.
Cisco.
He is amazing.
Phenomenal.
He's amazing. And the other person, and I don't know whether he decided to drop out of the industry or not, and I don't know what his voice is like, but Big Bub.
Oh, I know people that know Big Bub. You want to get Big Bub on your show?
Oh, I got to get through it. I dig him so much.
I know somebody that know Big Bub could probably reach out to him. He cool. He regular dude. He cool as I don't know what. Cool.
I'd love to have him on my show.
Well,
oh my goodness.
I'm definitely gonna plug it and see what.
Please.
I got you. I'll see what.
Tell him there's a young lady in Connecticut.
Okay.
You know, where they say, there's black people in Connecticut?
I think, he's right there in his area. So, he might probably easily be. I'm going to see what I can do for you. Real
Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
All right. That's right.
One more song we got to talk about of yours.
Okay.
Let it do what it do.
Make it do what it do.
So, why that title?
Well,
and where did that come from? What was the motivation behind that?
I'm going to make it do what it do, baby. Ray Charles. Ray Charles. So, make it do what it do. Just an ado to making feel good records, where people, in that song, you and your significant other or whatever, you wake up in the morning and, ain't got much time, to be intimate. So you're like, okay, got to get to work, but let's get it in. And now you're both late to work. So because you're making it do what it do.
Make it do what it do.
So you can be sensual and tasteful without being crass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What is it that you want the public to know about your music?
I really just want you to just get back to basics. It's okay to let a song make you feel something, to cry if it evokes tears and emotion in you. It's okay to smile when a song makes you laugh. It's okay to be sad if it makes you sad. It's okay to be vulnerable through music. Now we can be guarded with human beings and not trusting and opening up to human beings and other people, but we should never hold our guard up to a song. Music is universal. It soothes the savage beast, and it's healing. And there's healing properties in music. So allow yourself to open up a little bit and listen to the music that not so much as my music only, but any music. Go back and study some throwback stuff, man. You'd be surprised how that song. I'll tell you my favorite record, "Piano in the Dark" by Brenda Russell.
Really?
One of my favorite records of all time. I play that record at least once a day, just to, because she sang that record like it was the last time she was ever. Before. But that's the last time they're gonna be in the studio. You don't know what the future holds. So, love music again. It's okay to be okay with R&B. That's it.
So what's next?
My pops, 77 years old. Killing the game. He's a great singer-songwriter. I did an EP. I produced an EP on him, 6 songs.
Wow.
Oh, wait till you see. You definitely, hopefully, you can interview my pops too. He's a really great guy, but he can sing his tail off, and he got some real super great records on the same level as my stuff. We ain't producing them where his stuff is like subpar.
77's
killing it. Isley Field.
Wow.
You can't have a 77-year-old.
Was he performing pre-pandemic?
No, he's always a songwriter mostly, and he never felt like he could be a singer like outward like that. Me and my team pulled it out of him. I said, "You can do this." So we got in the studio. I beat him up in the booth a little bit, pushed him. He had his days where he was frustrated, but I was like, let's work. You know what I'm saying? It was always like Rocky, like the boy in Rocky. But man, he got videos, and the song is hot. It's called Simple Man. Wait till you hear this record. Woo! So that, I got other artists. I don't know if you know an artist named Jay Chosen from The Voice.
Yeah.
Jay Chosen just left me 2 days, about 3 days ago. Came out here for 3 days. We cut 2 records. Volume 2 is coming. Throwback to Covers Volume 2.
Nice.
So we remade the Luther Vandross, Gregory Hines, There's Nothing Better Than Love. Woo! Wait till you hear this version.
Wow.
And Jay Chosen, young kid, dope.
Yeah.
But really, I just think he needs a couple of hit records to change his whole future. And I'm hoping I can be that producer for him. And it looks like I'm going to be. So stay tuned for that. And
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's big. Yeah.
Yes,
well, you the artist of the year. So,
best new artist. I won the best new artist.
What else would we expect from you, right?
Well, and listen, I'm excited about it. I rise to the occasion. I'm not afraid of the challenge, and I'm going to continue to do great music because I'm not doing this for the ego.
Yeah.
And all that. I do it for the love, and I'm telling you, a lot of people say that, but I'm here to prove it by living my life and do my music and the way I handle myself and conduct myself. Regular old guy, just loving music, man, minding my business. That's it.
That's all it is.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you so much.
Well, St. Jaimz, thank you so much. Not only for the music, but being a guest on the collective. Sorry about the glitches.
Oh, sorry.
I'm getting used to the producing piece myself on my end.
You
know, I usually got somebody that presses buttons and says go. So, I'm getting used to everything and doing it myself. So slowly but surely getting there. But thank you so much.
Girl, good Lord, you're a lovely lady, by the way. You got to say that.
Thank you.
Very lovely. Appreciate
Thank you.
Sis.
And you know what? When you go on the road, come to Connecticut. We don't bite. Got plenty of R&B lovers, listeners.
Okay.
Got little places you can perform.
Okay. Hey, we might. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna see what I can do on the Big Bub thing. One of my guys that knows him real personal.
Let me know. Yes, absolutely. I'd love to talk to him.
That'd be great. Okay.
Love to talk to him.
All right.
St. Jaimz, once again, thank you. Appreciate your time, your energy. Congratulations and continued success.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And when you put that song out with the young man from The Voice, come back.
I will. And tell John Jack, thank you.
I will.
I appreciate it. Hooking it up.
I will.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Peace.